Hello everybody, my name is Rodolfo and I'm studying to get my next license in the boiler industry. And today I have 10 questions and let's see. Now I will give you my best answer, okay? So question number 1. Which boilers require only periodic attendance? Which boiler require only periodic attendance? So boilers between 9 and 250 boiler horsepower require only periodic attendance. Question number 2. Which boilers require another one. If the pressure control starts the burner and the ignition failed to take place, the control that protects the boiler is the... Again, if the pressure control starts the boiler and the ignition failed to take place, the control that protects the boiler is the flame failure cutoff. So the pressure went down and the pressure control gives the signal to start the boiler, but the ignition failed, the pilot failed to light the boiler. So the flame failure cutoff will stop sending fuel to the boiler and the post-purge will take place. How do you blow down a water column in a gauge glass? How do you blow down a water column in the gauge glass? So first, find the true water level. So you open the gauge glass drain, fully open and close it. And check for the true water level. Then you go to the water column and open the drain, fully open the drain on the water column and close it. That could trip your boiler right away. So if you have a dead man switch to do not trip the boiler, you can press the button. Okay. Then you open the drain on the gauge glass. Open the drain fully open. Okay. Now you're gonna close the bottom connection. So you're gonna flush the top connection. Then you open the bottom connection and close the top connection. Now you're going to start to flush the bottom connection. Okay. Now you open the top connection, leave the bottom connection open, and you're going to close the drain. Okay. Now water column is flushed. Gauge glass is flush, top and bottom connection, okay? And if you have any doubts about the water level, you can also check with your tricox, okay? How do you blow down a boiler in details? So first, find the true water level. So open the drain water column and close it. And open the drain on the gauge glass, close the bottom connection, open to flush it, and then close the drain. You're gonna have the true water level, okay? Now, you know that you have half glass or better of water in your boiler. You go and start to open the quick open valve, the closest valve to the boiler. fully open. Okay, now you go to the slow opening valve. That's the, you have the boiler, first valve, second valve. That's the slow opening valve. You open that fully open and close it. And then you close the quick opening valve. Okay, the flash tank now will receive that hot water and will start to cool off the blow down water, or the heat transfer. You're gonna recover some heat, but make sure that you secure the cooling water for the flush tank. Okay, keep your eyes on the gauge glass. Okay, check it again, and then you're all set. You bottom blow your boiler. How does the Department of Public Safety, now is Department of Fire Service, determine boiler horsepower? So 4 methods. Manufacturer's tag. So steam output divided by 34.5. BTUs per hour input divided by 41,840. And BTUs per hour output divided by 33,475. These are the 4 methods to determine boiler horsepower. Why would an inspector suspend or revoke your license? If he feels that he will revoke or suspend your license for incompetence or untrustworthiness. Okay? What pH level do we try to maintain in boilers? Okay? Between 10 and 11 on the pH scale. That's the most common, okay, to find it. Between 10 and 11. You will find some books that will tell you 11 and a half, okay? But something between 9.5 and 11.5. On this question that I got is 10 to 11. Name the types of draft used in the boilers. So we have 4. Natural draft, using only the stack. Forced draft, when you have a fan blowing air into the furnace. Okay. Induced draft, when you have a fan on the between the stack and the boiler, like pulling a vacuum into the furnace. Okay. And we have balance draft, when you have a fan blowing air into the furnace and a fan between the boiler and the stack. So between, you're going to be a forced draft fan and an induced draft fan. Okay. Natural draft, forced draft, induced draft, and a balanced draft. Okay, when you balance, use forced and induced draft at the same time. The furnace will be slightly in vacuum, slightly. The feed pump starts to cavitate. How would you correct this problem? So I talked about this on the previous video, but that's something that's very common. So if the pump starts to cavitate, you know, as soon as you walk to the DA, check the level, the water level, and check the temperature. It will be right there, boom, and you're gonna hear the pump cavitating. Okay? You start to close, don't close totally the discharge, because then you're not gonna have any water at all in your boiler. But you can start closing the discharge and then proceed your investigation. You probably gonna find something on the DA water level, so you start to adding some cooling water from city water, okay, to the DA. You may see the DA that's high temperature, and usually high temperature comes with low level. But if your level is correct and your temperature is high, look at the pressure in your DA, okay? You're gonna usually 5 pounds typically, and you may find 10 pounds. That's why it's bringing the temperature high, okay? So then you go check your PRV and start to correct that, okay? Temperature, water level, and when you fix it, then you open the discharge valve again. What's a blowback in reference to a safety valve? So blowback is the pressure that the safety valve will close after it's lifted. So, just for you to understand better, you have a safety valve that will blow at 150 psi, okay? So when the boiler gets to 150, the safety valve is gonna open to release that steam, to protect, to do not overpressure the boiler, okay? When the pressure drop, let's say your valve is set for 147, the blowback, or 148. So when it's reached 150, the safety valve is gonna open, poof, open, pop open. And when the pressure gets to 148, if set to that, the valve will close, okay? So pop open and pop close, okay? So blowback, it's the pressure that your valve will close after it has lifted, okay? So I see you guys tomorrow in another video. Thank you.